Hey guys, sorry for the late start. It's getting a little hard to get started by 9:30 now, just because I work every Thursday. So what I planned on doing tonight was cutting out my brand new J Concepts Firebird body that got all painted up, and we're gonna stick it on my DR10 drag car, and we'll see how far we get. But pretty stoked to have my colors on. My colors on my drag car now, so we can ditch the generic orange body, which I don't, really this body held up pretty well. It took a couple nasty spills, and probably keep it, if we're practicing or running somewhere that's not quite prepped as good, I think. These tires really, I'm really looking forward to get some J Concepts belted hotties, just so I can kind of compare the difference to, unfortunately, everybody was out of them, the hotties that I'm supposed to be running. So I had to run Proline belted, but you can kind of see, that they held up pretty well, and not too much wear. The rear end's real sloppy on this car from all the running that we did. Now that I got a 3.5 in it, it's probably pretty tough on it. But that's okay. We're going to put this body on. It's going to look awesome. I'm excited. Let's get the chat to the right thing. Oh, there we go. I see we got a couple guys on here: Eli, Cole, Peter Renault, Jackson, John Haas. Jackson says you're loving the drag racing. Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's probably, I'm not gonna quit racing for it. It's kind of like crawling stuff too. I really like crawling, and I like building parts to our crawler course when I get time. But it's not necessarily something that I would just drop altogether. Now the question is, do I have scissors? Because as you know, I have a son who really likes to go through all my tools and take all my stuff. So this might be a mute point tonight with this, and that would really bum me out because that's what I had planned on doing all night tonight. Doesn't really hurt to look somewhere else. Well, that's super lame. What if they got put in here? So as you guys know, we went to a nitro race this weekend, and I try to get all my stuff kind of organized, and I think he looks like he got me. Gosh darn it. I really want to cut this thing out. I'm going to text him. I'm going to be like, hey, man, do you have my scissors up there? Matt Lang, how much is the Losi drag car and what all comes with it? So the drag car from Losi is $399, and that's ready to run. And that one's a pretty good deal. You get the cool Camaro body. I think it's like a 6700 motor. It's a big motor in that car. So the DR10 only comes with a 3500 kV brushless, and it's more it's closer to like a 13.5. So I was actually pretty surprised by how slow the DR10 was when I first ran it on a 2-cell. I put a 3-cell in it and it really perked it up, but that's not legal for the actual drag racing stuff. So we definitely perked it up and we put a 13.5 motor in it. So, or in my case, I put a 3.5 in it, and that got pretty crazy. That's the part I really like about drag racing is, you know, you don't have much use usually for a 3.5. It's like, you know, even mod touring car nowadays doesn't really go that fast. So, yeah, it's interesting. What do we got in the chat here, guys? So yeah, Matt, $3.99. You can get the roller. The roller is a pretty good deal. It's $219 for the Losi roller. That's what we got, and we put our own electronics into it. And I mean, we did okay. We put a fast Hobby Wing 13.5 in it. We put basically the equivalent of a Hobby Wing just stock speed controller, and just let it rip. And even with stock tires, it did pretty good. So that'd be a good way to go too. Then you can get whatever body you want. You don't have to use that Camaro if you don't like it or want it. Let's scroll up here a little bit. John Haas leaving for Table Rock. That sounds fun. Going on vacation. I'm digging that. My next vacation is August. This race didn't quite work out, so with the rain out in Kansas City, so we went to Minnesota for a one-day event. Came back, tried to work a little bit on Sunday, and then was planning on going to a race at the end of July. But Emerson wants to go to some bike meet, like motorcycle meet, that same weekend. So it sounds like we're staying home. So we got so that means that the Cheyenne Shootout in the middle of August is our next travel event. The 17th, I think, is this. You know what? Here, hang on 1 second. I think it's the Saturday Truck Series. I think you're right. Calendar. Yeah, 17th is Saturday Truck Series. Because the 24th is just a regular club race day, and that's when I was planning on going to the race in Wichita. But now Emerson wants to do something that Saturday, so it doesn't sound like we're going. Jackson Anderson, do people convert the B62 to a drag car? You can. I think you need you would need the SC6 chassis, I believe, to get the length right. But there are some B6 wheelie bars, shock towers, all that stuff. So, but I think you can do it, but I think you need the SC6. There's probably some other conversions out there too, guys making their own carbon fiber stuff that would probably work pretty well. I don't know a whole much about it. A DR10 is a pretty good way to go though. The DR10 kit's only $199. It's kind of like the roller, except you don't get tires or wheels or anything. So I think the Losi roller is pretty good, darn good deal. And we haven't even really tuned it yet. So this car has a million weight oil in the diff and rear sway bar. Eventually I'm going to get the J Concepts wheelie bar back here. And of course the new body is going to help out a ton. And then I'm going to get the J Concepts wheels and tires. I think that's going to be pretty good. That car, we haven't even opened up the diff. So that thing was bone stock, man. We just put in electronics, we put the gearing on it, and we went. And it drove straight. So we did some stuff to the shocks, the rear shocks, and that was about it. So it's a pretty good deal. Joel Florkey, how can I start making RC videos? I would say get your phone out, start a YouTube account, and just start taking videos, man. That's all I did or do. Although I do have a much better camera now, so I'm trying to put a video. In fact, I got footage from this last weekend that I really got to start working on, so I can get it out there. It's all about the phone, man. Cole Webb, are you doing a complete track change for round 3? I wouldn't say complete, more like partial. So I'm going to spend, my plan is to actually get out there Sunday night after work and tear stuff up, spend all day Monday, minus the time I spend going to the podcast, followed by all day Tuesday. So we're going to basically do half the track. So last time we put in State Line and that little rise that comes up. Well, this time we're going to do this. The rise is going to come straight at us. The section all over here is all going to be different. That elevated corner is going to be gone. I have a plan to do something over there. It should make the track actually a little bigger, is what I have planned. So yeah, there's going to be some interesting stuff coming up soon. So Sunday night, it's going to suck. It's a lot of work, and I try to put it off as much as I can, but the track's pretty beat up, so it definitely needs some adjustments. So Jackson Anderson, there's a 3-day trophy race at NDRC December 3rd through the 5th. There's also apparently a 40-plus race in Thornhill that same weekend. And as soon as I heard that, I thought to myself, maybe I should go try to do that. So as of right now, I am planning to go to Thornhill for the first time, December 3rd, which happens to be my birthday. So not only am I already in the 40-plus class, but I'll have another year on top of the 40-plus to pad onto it. So that's my plan. If that changes, or if that race actually doesn't happen, I could see going to NDRC. That'd be kind of fun. Something to do for my birthday officially. Peter Renault is actually going to get out and do some real practice. That's awesome. Jackson, we're keeping the triple, but we're going to change how we jump it. So no longer we'll have a tight corner right before it. You're actually going to get a pretty good run at it. So I would assume that maybe even stock buggy now will probably be able to clear it. But there's going to be a new jump that probably won't be able to clear for stock. So it'll be a mod stock differentiation for sure. Maybe 13.5. We'll have to see. Cole Webb wants to know, do you focus on making the track builds in the low 20s for lap time, or do I really care? I don't care. I think that whatever comes. When we try to use the entire track for the nitro side, the lap times kind of still stay the same because those guys, the bigger cars, still seem to go faster over that stuff. But yeah, as far as lap times go, I don't really care that much. It's kind of funny how our lap times over the years have gotten quicker. So, it used to be, our track used to be a 26 to 27 second track. And as all of us have gotten better and, we've figured out the traction and the tires and all that stuff, it seems like the lap times just kind of always, start to come down. I'm not a big fan of on our track, if it was like an 18-second track layout or something like that, that would have to mean that not a whole lot's going on. And that would be almost no fun for me. I think that'd be too fast. So, but I think they just kind of work out where they work out. So Dylan Haas gave me a thumbs down. We're keeping the triple, but we're changing the approach to the triple. So instead of having a corner before the triple, you're actually going to probably, more than likely, you're going to drop down and then hit the triple. That's what I'm thinking. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, the plan was to keep the triple there. I have this really cool idea of after the triple of coming up and then taking a turn to the left and coming down that little hill towards the back wall. So for those of you guys watching in YouTubeville that are not familiar with our racetrack, I'm sorry. You probably have no idea what I'm talking about. So my bad. So I was thinking, since I can't cut the body out because somebody stole my scissors and I didn't even think about it until just now. I'm thinking maybe I can go in and adjust some of my settings on my speed controller. No crossovers. Sorry. Cole, there's Family Friday and Saturday speed as always. It's just a regular race weekend. I am going to make a post and ask for some help tomorrow night. If you, or not tomorrow night, Saturday night after the races are over, if I can get some help pulling pipe, that would be fantastic. That would make it so that Sunday I can just kind of dive right into the track, put my headphones on, and put on some Tom Segura and kind of just have at it. Steve RC wants to know what the HobbyPlex 1000 is. The HobbyPlex 1000 is our enduro. We didn't have one in 2020 because I kind of forgot about it, and I sort of couldn't find a place to put it. You know, it was just kind of weird how our schedule never really worked out the way that I wanted it to. So, but it's 1,000 laps, the first one to 1,000 laps. We've had an 11-hour enduro. That was my big thing. So the Onward guys do their enduro a little bit differently. I wanted ours to be long. I felt like if we're going to have an enduro, let's have an enduro, you know, and it used to be 11 hours. Well, then I don't like getting up in the morning. So waking up at 7 on a Sunday to open up the track really bummed me out because then you're there. We started at 8 and you would get done at 7 and you're just like, dude, this is such a long day. So now our start time is going to be a little early or a little later. We won't have to open up the doors as early. And 1,000 laps, if I remember correctly from last time, I think it ended up being still about what, 7 to 8 hours, I think. So it's a long time. Yeah, HobbyPlex, I know. Steve RC, go and look up in the YouTube channel in the playlist. I think that we have a couple videos about our enduro. There you go. So we did I actually built a car specifically for the enduro. I wanted to build a Traxxas car. So I called it the, what did I call it? The Super Slash 1000. Yeah. So if you look it up, there's a whole bunch of videos on the last enduro, and it would have been from about a year and a half ago. So, but I uploaded some little short 4 and 5 minute videos on the enduro, and I think Derek Wood's team won last time. So I have a plan. So I need to find a rear motor B5. There was a kid that had one on 402 Club for sale not that long ago, and I should have bought it when I had the chance. So if I find a rear motor B5 then you can use a full-size battery, and that's what I want to use for it, because I don't really want to use my my rear motor Losi 2.0, because that thing's like brand new. I don't want to use it. So yeah, we're gonna find a car to use. It's gonna be fun. Okay. Signal negative. This is a very big box. Like, why is this so big? What else you guys got for me? Oh. It's been a weird couple weeks. I haven't really been available. Last week we were going to do an after-hour show from Will's house, and it just didn't work out because we got down there so late that it kind of was already kind of pointless. The pin on this box is like bent. This thing's brand new. It's really weird. $6,000 mAh shorty. During the last 11 hour, you're getting 30 to 40-minute runtime. That's about right. I think my plan was to always use a rear motor car with a 13.5, and I think if it wasn't for braking a couple times, my team could have won. Unfortunately, we broke a few times. I actually have. So I thought about getting clocks. So I wanted it for the awards. I always wanted to get a clock, and this is second place. Yeah. So 2017 HobbyPlex Off-Road 11th hour at the Plex Enduro, second place, and it's a clock. And first place got a bigger clock, and third place got a smaller clock. I always thought that was kind of cool. I'll be right back. Because they called it the 11th hour. I thought that was so neat. Like, if you're going to call something the 11th hour, it should be, I felt like it should be a clock. I'll have to save the body for next time. That's fine. Hidebreder said his winning clock is still working and in his living room. That's awesome. Jackson, locals drag race at Missouri Valley Airport Drags, Missouri Valley MVAD. Missouri Valley Airport Drag Strip. I think that's what it is. I'm pretty sure that's what they called it. Traxxas Blast says no lipo, but you've read you can run a 2S. I don't see why you couldn't run a 2-cell. I don't even think you'd have to worry about temperature. I just think there's no lipo cutoff, I don't think. So that's really the only thing that you would actually have to worry about. Why is this not going in there without like breaking it? They do not make this easy. Why don't they make this easy? I hate it when stuff's not easy. I feel like I'm going to break it. Ooh, excuse me. Jackson, Missouri Valley it was like 25 minutes away from my house. Sam wants to know, should I use my 22X4 B61 for the 1,000 lap enduro? I think you have to take into account how quickly you can change your battery. I think also what's going to be more efficient. I would think the two-wheel drive would be more efficient, so you could get a little bit longer runtime. I think that's why I've always wanted to do the two-wheel drive rear motor. But, you know, I'm going to text Emerson, see if he can find my scissors. I bet you they're all at the HobbyPlex in our pit spot. I bet you that's where they're all at. Jackson. I thought it was in, Missouri. No, Missouri Valley. It's a city that's literally 20 minutes up the road. Steve, I think I'm running Saturday. I'm not running Friday, just Saturday. And there goes some more fireworks outside. Justin Polshock is on here. What accessory should I get for my Losi Mini B 2.0? I think there's not a lot that I think you necessarily need. What are people breaking it? It was mainly just A-arms. A lot of front A-arms on all those minis. So if you can get some of the RPM A-arms made, they do make them. That would be a good hop up. A better charger if you don't already have one. We can get you hooked up with an adapter for an EC2 plug to a regular charger. Yeah, I was just about to say Andrew Barrett drag link and bell crank. So the drag link tends to break when you hit stuff, and same thing with the bell crank steering. And then also, some guys are super gluing the servo horn so that it doesn't have as much play, so you get better steering out of it. I don't necessarily recommend that. Another way you can make the steering a little bit more responsive is a zip tie, a little baby zip tie around your servo horn instead of super glue, so it can still give a little bit. I think those are the major things. There we go. But if you're looking for hop-ups, there's all sorts of cool stuff out there. There's all the Losi aluminum parts. Hot Racing's got a bunch of aluminum stuff that we carry now. Like I said, RPM makes stuff. Of course, you can get, brushless motors, all that good fun stuff. Make sure I'm plugging my battery in correctly. I actually accidentally plugged my battery in backwards at the drag strip. Barely. I touched it and it went, and I'm like, oh crap, I almost blew it up. I hope this thing works. It's loud. It says it's linking. Weird. Steve RC, does RPM have lifetime warranty? I thought I heard someone say they did. So I think you got to actually, I think you actually have to send the part to them, and then they usually replace it for you. I think. I might be wrong about that, but I think. I've never actually used it. Because if I break stuff, it's because I'm stupid. I broke it. So Jackson, for the diff, you guys use 1 million weight. Well, I did. I don't know about anybody else, but it seemed like a good idea. And I mean, honestly, my car was pretty good. I was thinking about dropping down in oil for next time, maybe like 500K. But I mean, I had good grip. So, I mean, the whole reason why you would do that is if you didn't have good grip, and I felt like I had pretty good grip. So, I don't know. Might just leave it alone. I'll definitely go and top it off, refill it when it comes time. Peter made a transponder mount out of sheet metal and foam. That's pretty cool. Speaking of foam, so I'm going to be, when I'm done with it, hopefully by the end of summer, I'm building a rock crawler course in my backyard. And I've made pretty good progress. But one of the things I wanted to do was make like an actual faux rock, right? And so I did some research today, and I think I figured out how I'm going to do it. And I can't do it this week coming up because it's summer series week, so I'll be busy. But the following week, I'll have some time. And I don't know. I'm kind of excited. I'm going to be using foam and chicken wire and concrete. So I'm going to see how that turns out. My backyard tracks basically, or my backyard crawler course is basically almost like a proof of concept area for when I'm doing stuff for the Plex. So online, he saw people using ball diffs, which didn't make sense to me. So, and Matt laying on the same thing says, why use super high diff oil at all? Why not just lock the rear end? Well, I think so. Jackson, I think the reason why some guys would use a ball diff is because, in theory, you could take that ball diff and basically tighten the rings up to where you would almost break the screw, like Mitchell would do. So you'd make your diff super duper tight, which would give you a rear end that can still slip when you need traction, but because it'd be super duper tight, you'd still have that good launch. I think the reason why we wouldn't use a locked diff on a no prep surface is mainly because of traction. You still want to have a differential that can do its job. So a diff is supposed to work to give the car traction. So if you have a diff that's super thick, so it doesn't move very easily, but still moves a little bit, and you combine that with the proper use of your slipper clutch, you can make that car go straight. I think the problem with having a complete locked diff, a spool, is that you have nothing to tune other than your slipper clutch. You're relying solely on the slipper clutch at that point, and that's how you'd make cars not go straight. Cars would veer off one way or the other. You'd have to probably back off your slipper clutch a lot, so then it would slip more, so then you would lose time. I think having a thick enough diff fluid in the diff combined with the right use of a slipper clutch is how you can get your car to A, go straight, but also B, kind of tune that good escape out of the hole. Yeah, that's what I think. Now on a prep surface, right? So there's like a pro mod class where they got these basically rail cars and they're using foam tires and the service has a bunch of VHT down on it. So they're going crazy nuts fast and they have all this traction. I could see using a spool. They have these really cool one cell drag cars, and that's where they're using like the O-ring front tires and again, foam rear tires. I could again see using a spool there because you've got the grip. But with the no prep, I think you still need a diff, and then you just have to work on tuning it. If you've got a no prep surface that really doesn't have any grip, you would use lower diff fluid, and then if you're on a no prep surface that has got quite a bunch of grip, like the Missouri Valley strip does, because you can clearly see the takeoff marks. And then as the day progresses, we are using tire sauce. So that tire sauce will get onto the actual track so that the grip would actually pick up. So you can get away with something like a 750 or a million weight or even higher diff fluid. Where we at? Dylan Haas says the ball diff for his two-wheel kind of sucks sometimes. Well, don't give up on it, because they work better on off-road. Jackson, what tire sauce? I cannot remember the name of it. I have a bottle of it, an empty bottle in the back of my truck right now, because I was going to try to order some for the store. But I think there's Pimp Juice is one. I guess they make real tire sauce for real cars, and they've made a RC car version of it. We just got in today some SXT tire sauce that's specific for drag racing. I opened it up though, and so the stuff that we were using, I was borrowing Bob Hamilton stuff, and the stuff, it was sticky. Like you'd go like this and it would be stringy, and you'd plop it down on your stuff and get all your tires sitting there. And then you didn't want to do it too early because it would not harden up, but it would soak in too much almost. But what's weird is now that I fill my tires, I can't even tell that I use tire sauce on it. But in between heats, right, I would use the SXT that I brought with me, have some of it on a rag, and then I would actually clean the tires with SXT, let them sit, and then I'd hit it with that super sticky stuff. So, yeah, dude, it is insane. The tire sauce that they were using, it was very sticky. It wasn't fluid. It was like goo that you could put on it. Sam, so they don't. So on no prep, right? On no prep tracks, you're not supposed to have a prepped surface. That's how I think that's all that no prep means. So you can do whatever you want to the car. You can use, at least at this event, you could use tire sauce. You just had to burn it out before you went. If you watch the video we did, you'll see everybody doing burnouts beforehand. That's to get the tires hot, but also you're letting that tire sauce kind of burn in to the tires. It's pretty cool. And it was grabby, dude. It was very, very, very grabby. It was really neat. Yeah. Dragon Juice. Mike over Cash says Dragon Juice. I bet you that there's a bunch. Will Brinton, the co-host of the HobbyPlex show, he's an old school kart racer, right? And so when we started really getting into tire sauce at the track, that's why he developed Sticky Situation, which was our home tire sauce. And I might even have a bottle of it here. Hang on. Thought I did, but I don't. So, but that was our home tire sauce. So I texted him from the track. I was like, dude, this is your realm, man. You would be all over this because you'd want to, he'd probably take a whiff of the tire sauce we were using, probably know what it is. So I bet you there's a lot of different regional kind of home brews when it comes to tire sauce for no prep. Bet you there's a lot of cart guys, a lot of guys from that realm, that know all the right chemicals to use to make one. So, all right, let's turn this on and see if I can get into some of the programming here. Actually, where's that at? So I have this speed controller that I'm very unfamiliar with, and it's not the McLaren. It's called Orca, and it was the only speed controller I had that wasn't in my off-road cars that could handle a 3.5. So hopefully this works. Let's see. I think I just plugged in the wrong wire. I hope it doesn't explode. Come on, baby. Link. You can do it. Man. I don't think it's going to link. I thought for sure that would be the correct cord to use. Dang it. Oh well. Keep it scale stupid. That's a great name. Daniel's on here. Bender's on here. What's up, Bender? I'm kind of bummed out right now. I can't get this to go the right way. Now let's try this one more time. Because the Hobby Wing one just plugs in the same way that the rest of them do. And this one, I would think, it's just because it's older. I didn't think that would matter very much. But I guess we'll see. All I really want to do is add timing. I just want to make the car go faster. That's all I want to do. Darn it. I'll figure it out. I wonder if you can do it with like buttons. I'm sure you can. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Let's see. What do we got going on? So there you go. So I have this sweet new body that I want to use for my DR10, and I'll have to wait because I can't. All my scissors must be at the track. So let's talk about it for a second. So this is the J Concepts Firebird, and what's really neat about it is I think they kind of developed it to compete with the Proline Corvette, the vet body that has that big kind of angled body to it, and it's kind of almost got like a built-in wing. So like my son's car has the wing coming out the back, the Camaro here. So like this one here, where it's got the wing, which he didn't want to put on, and I was like, trust me, you're going to want to put that on. So So we shoe glued it actually to the body. Let's see if I can see if you guys can see that. So no screws or nothing. We just straight up shoe glued it, and it's really strong to the body. I love shoe glue. Shoe glue works great for everything. So the Firebird body really doesn't have that. It's got this nice long back end and kind of a built-in fin here, and then we've got the side pieces right here that I'm going to cut out and put right there. So yeah, dude. Keep it scale. I did not paint that. So there's very few things in this hobby that I don't do, and one of them is painting. I suck at it, and which is weird because I've always been kind of a good artist, but for whatever reason, RC car bodies and me, because everything's backwards, I always screw them up somehow. So I got a buddy who's been doing my paint scheme for years, and I handed this off to him to set up for me. So yeah, big props to my buddy Kenny. He doesn't paint very often, so when he does, it turns out really awesome, like this one. I actually have a late model body around here somewhere that I've never even used. Every time I look at it, I'm like, man, I need to get a late model for Dirt Oval. What did I do with that? Oh, here it is. Check this out. This is back in when I used to race for TLR. So this body's probably what, 5 years old? Because I was planning on racing a late model. You can see it's all dusty, but you can see the paint job is essentially the same. And dude, this thing would be badass on a drag car. Look at that. Dude, that'd be sick. But yeah, so I just hand him off to him and let him have at it. You know, we used to do like wraps and stuff, and I've had some wraps with this same paint scheme, and yeah, they always turn out really well. So body. So Emerson's body is a J Concepts 68 Camaro, and he picked that out himself, and he painted it himself, and he put the stickers on it all by himself, all that stuff. So he did a really good job. Should a newbie cut before painting or paint before cutting? So, I mean, that's tough. So looking back on it, I probably should have taken this and actually the right way to do it is to set it on the body clear, because they've got these coverings over the top, right? And take a marker and mark where the holes are going to be. I think there's no harm in trimming a body before you paint it. But most of the bodies that I usually get done, I trim it afterwards. I really should have done that, but there's a way to mount this on this car without worrying about screwing up the spots. That's what I was going to try to do tonight. But since I can't cut the body out, I won't do it. But basically, after you paint it, if you don't have the body holes, you can mark your body posts with something colorful, and then you can take your trimmed body and you can figure out where it's going to be, and then press it down onto it, go like that, and you have your body post marked. I'm probably going to do this next week, so that I can show you guys. how I do it, but that's usually how you can do it if you haven't marked them before you painted them. So it's a good idea to mark your body post holes before you paint it. That way, after you paint it, they're still on the outside, and you can make the body post holes. Proline also has this really cool thing where, or Protoform, same company basically, where it's got these little magnets. You set it on here, and then you put your body on, and you take a magnet, and you can mark where the body posts are that way as well. So. Plus, the only other thing about cutting it before you paint it is you do have the possibility of having your overspray cover the outside if you're not careful with the overspray film. So if you cut it, the overspray film might be a little exposed. That's a whole nother reason to cut it after you paint it. So yeah, red lipstick works really good. I happen to have a bunch of acrylic paint lying around from painting, like canvas painting. That works really good. You just go on all four of them. That seems to work really well. Yeah. One of the only reasons Matt Lang says I could never leave that for a week. I'd be too excited. Probably. I mean, one of the only reasons why I would leave it for next week is because I don't really have any drag race comps coming up. So I don't need to be in a hurry. I don't need to be in a rush. I can let it sit for a little bit. I'm actually more bummed out that I can't get my Orca link to link than I am that my scissors are missing from my body, because I really want to put some bona fide turbo boost in this thing to get it even faster on the back end of the run. Like, this thing's awesome on the front end of the run when I just got to be better at the timing of the light, but it goes fine. It's just the back end of the run. It seems like it just kind of tops out and gives up. Although we did go drive it. We did go drive it the other day outside in the front yard and up and down the street. And it was, when you fully peg it and you're going, it goes so fast that with that stock DR10 body, air actually got up underneath of it and took it. You know that old race car video of that, what was that? Like a DTM car that's coming over the hill at Nuremberg, I think it is where it's at. And it catches air and it's all flat underneath of it, and then it just starts spinning. That's basically what this car had done a couple times. So Nick, there's a class of drag racing. I cannot remember what it's called, but yeah, they do on the prepped events. Let's see if I can find it real fast, because I know it's on here. Let me see. There's that, and what do they call it? So they have, on the prepped events, they have 1S Pro Stock, and that's these really cool graphite carbon cars, and they're using a 1-cell battery on the prepped events. And then 2S Pro Mod, 3S Funny Car, and 3S Top Fuel. So yeah, they do. I'd actually like to see that. I think that'd be pretty awesome on an actual like prep surface with a bunch of VHT down, where you don't have to worry about grip as much. Woo! Bet that'd be fun and fast, like really, really fast. Yeah, there was 30 something viewers on tonight again. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, Andrew Barrett's working on getting a controller built for him, so that he can actually use it. We've had a couple, I can't remember his name, but there was a regular practice guy. He never raced, but he was another like paraplegic, and he used his mouth to drive his car. It was amazing. Like, he had the channels mixed so that with his mouth, he could give it throttle and steer it with one like motion. It was amazing. So anytime that we can get that going for you guys, I think that's pretty freaking cool. It's kind of weird I don't have a lot of stuff tonight. Like normally I'm prepping for an event, or I'm trying to fix something that's been broken for a while, and we're kind of in this weird space where the nitro and electric cars are all cleaned up and ready for the next race, and my crawler works really good, so I haven't had to do anything with it. And the next big project that I'm going to do, I want to wait until I have like a good, just straight up week of dedication to it. And my airplane, I'm in no hurry to get fixed, even though I got the parts. So probably could have done that tonight, actually. So I'm pretty stoked because my backyard course that I'm building is coming along pretty nicely. And tonight I noticed that my flat skid for this truck is on its way. So that's like the last thing I need to do to my Enduro here is put the flat skid on it. So I got my internal dig all set up, and now I'm getting like more in tune with just driving the truck better. But I don't know if you guys have seen. So I got this 800, the Reefs 800 internal winch put on my Element, and man, does it work good. I haven't had any backlash or anything like that. It's a little slow, but I can live with that. That's something I can live with. But like the flat skid is like the only thing I need to do to this thing. So once I get that out of there and I get back to having a flat underbelly, this thing's going to be unstoppable. Hopefully. Maybe a little bit. Then I got to work on scale points. If I had scissors, I would cut out my my body for this thing. The what do you call that? Interior. There you go. Peter Renault, thanks. I purposefully did not upload the Truck Series races until this last weekend because I knew I was going to be gone and I wasn't going to get any video. So I kind of held on to them a little bit and then uploaded them. And I thought that we had the stock slash wasn't there because when they started the race, I looked over and I did not see my camera, my phone up because I'd been doing it all day from my hand. I didn't see Riley with it. So I was like, whatever. But he actually got it. I was pretty happy. Chris Hardiston, what are we doing tonight? Well, we're being dumb. So I have this super awesome new J Concepts Firebird drag body all ready for my drag car. And I opened my tools at the start of this thing, and I looked in there, and both of my curved scissors are missing. And more than likely, they're in my pit spot at the HobbyPlex. Because that's where Emerson cut out his Camaro body for his drag car. So that's kind of what happens sometimes on Thursdays. I'm in such a rush to get home and try to get this set up that I forget to double check stuff, and I don't have my curved scissors. So it's hard to cut out a body without a curved scissors. So instead, we've just been pretty much just talking the whole time. So Daniel said, I heard that the event you went and plugged your drag car in backwards. Was the car okay? I barely touched it. So like I was talking and I wasn't paying attention, and I put the two plug. I put the negative on the positive for a split second, and it went zzz, and I'm like, oh crap! I'm like, I thought I ruined it, because that speed controller is kind of old. It's like it's a probably 5-year-old speed controller, and nope, everything was fine. I got super lucky. Didn't blow anything up. I feel like if I would have actually pressed it all the way in there, then yeah, I probably would have ruined it. My day would have been over. But luckily, I just touched it. Matt Lang wants to know, weren't you worried about drive shaft exposure with the flat skid? I was, but after watching your guys' trucks just kind of go over stuff, I think that I'm willing to sacrifice that for the ability to have that just be flat like my old truck. So this is the second Enduro I've owned, and the first one was an RTR, and I put a bunch of stuff on it. And we were at a comp one time, and my son had an SCX-10 of ours with a flat skid on it, and his truck just walked right over this pretty hard gate, and mine kept getting tied up right here. And so I decided that day that I was going to get a flat skid, put it on there, and then this last winter got the goofy idea that maybe I should start over on something else, and so I sold my Enduro, got an SCX-10 2, and felt really bad about it. So I basically started over. And of course, all the flat skids are out of stock, so I've had to wait. And finally saw today at the store that the piece I wanted is coming. So kind of excited over that. Jason Haley, Patreon member. Hang on. Is that what that was? Oh, man. So we are on Patreon, and I didn't make a big hairy deal out of it. But so I appreciate Peter Renault, Nick Nuthouse, and now Jason Haley are our Patreon members. So you guys are going to get mentioned on our videos and stuff. And you got another set of stickers coming to you. And then also, I'm working on, with my sister, I need to get a hold of some people that I have in mind, but I was actually thinking about some Patreon like exclusive content. I was thinking these like made public, but I wanted to do something cool with it. But like I said, it's coming in the future. We're working on contacting people now, but so just keep an open ear out for that. And when it starts to happen, we'll definitely announce it and everything. Riley Filbert says, when's the next track change? Sunday. Pretty much the summer series, the week of the summer series is when I change something on our track. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Chris Hardiston, our indoor crawler course is made with concrete, chicken wire, and spray foam. It doesn't last, wears down, and it falls apart. So, yeah, I've done some Googling and I guess you call it research today and last night about the best ways to like make fake rock. And the HobbyPlex a long time ago. So back when, here, hang on. I'll show you guys something. It's really cool. It's like one of my prized possessions. So, So back when this truck was popular, that's the Losi Comp Crawler. 2.2 wheels, Boss Claws. The HobbyPlex had an indoor course that was modular. So we made these like what were they? They were 2 feet by 4 feet panels. And we had a table that was really strong. It was made out of steel. And the panels, like each member of the Nebraska Scale Crawler Association, like made their own panel. And so we had like 10 of these things or more. It might have been more than that. And what was cool about them, even though they were heavy as you know what, you could move them. So they had little handles on them, and they were made with like concrete and stuff, and you could actually take them to move them. So every week when we did our crawler course stuff on Tuesdays, you could we would have a different course. It was awesome. And a couple of them started to fall apart. You know, you grind these on the concrete enough and you can actually expose the chicken wire and everything. But we kind of patched them up as we went along. And now our indoor course, you know, I made it pretty much, I didn't want to go that route. I wanted, because everything is more scale. You know, I tried to do like wood bridges, and I tried to get creative with like a teeter-totter side hill sort of thing, and like a chain bridge, and PVC pipe works really good for making bridges because you can bend it and then you just bolt everything down. So, but one of the things I wanted to do was maybe kind of go back and do that again that way, without the movable panels. I think I was just going to make a permanent, like a 6x4 area that, you know, we could kind of hang off of, get the grip and just, you know, really hang off of, because that's something we're kind of lacking on our indoor course right now. And then my outdoor course that I have here at home, I might, like I said earlier, I kind of use I'm going to make a video of it, and hopefully it gets really popular because it's really cool. But I kind of treat it as like almost like a proof of concept. Like if I build it out there and it doesn't work, well, then I'm not going to waste my time and try to build it again at the HobbyPlex. You know, I'm going to do it here first. And if it works and if it's cool, then I'll try to copy it, you know, for the HobbyPlex. So, but yeah, this thing back then, this thing used to dominate, you know, top 3 almost every week against the MOA trucks. And then, you know, more guys started getting MOA, and that was kind of when, that's, you know, this true comp crawler type thing kind of went away almost, because not everybody wanted to have a, you know, $900 bully rig, and that was just the rig. It wasn't anything else. So I do kind of miss this though. That was pretty cool. But this is my this is actually my original comp crawler from 2008. So I sold it super cheap to a guy, way cheaper than I should have, and felt really bad about it. And then his daughter came in this year, and I said, "Hey, does your dad still have that?" And he's like, and she was like, "Yeah." And I said, "Can I buy it?" And so they actually sold it back to me. And one of the reasons why you can tell that this was mine was because in order to get the driveline straight, which was the Nightcrawler driveline when it came out too, you had to flip the transmission around, and the only way to do that was to cut out. Let's see if I can get that closer. Was to cut out the chassis so that the motor could hang off the side like that. And yeah, this thing still works. Electronics, even the LiPo battery still works. So had my BEC in it, everything. The Spectrum servo I had. This is the Losi Accelerant speed controller. It actually still works, which is amazing, but it does. So it's too bad we can't. It's too bad I can't enter this in class 3. kind of a bummer that we can't do that, because it'd be fun. It's got a dig. It's freaking dialed. Let's see. Go back up here. Jackson Anderson, are you doing the quad jump by the announcer's booth? Possibly. We'll see how much dirt I have. Did Cam recently get in a UFC fight? He did not, but he was training for a UFC fight and got punched in the face. So that's why he's got the shiner. And some modelers are using Flexi Steel putty. I can see that, especially for like SCX24 setups. I think that'd be pretty neat. I think that'd be really good. I looked up, so I think what I'm going to try to do, because I want it to be light, right, is I'm going to cut that sheet foam into how I want it to look, I guess, like a base. And then I'm going to put 2x4 chunks. I have a whole bunch of these little 2x4 squares that I've cut off the edges and stuff. I'm going to put them in between them, and I'm going to take a screw, and I'm going to screw them to the other side. So they're screwing basically a 2x4 and a 2x4, not the foam itself, just so that they're separated out. And then I'm going to take chicken wire, and I'm going to cover the whole thing with chicken wire and get it all bendy real fast. And then I'm just going to take my Quickcrete stuff and slap it on there by hand and try to shape some rocks. I'm going to try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I think that'd be really neat. I thought about making a SCX24 course for this upcoming winter, and I would be using either like spray foam or like the Flexi Steel stuff. I could see that working really well. We also have, because we're a hobby store, we also have that plastic cloth made by Woodland Scenics, and I think for 24 scale stuff, I think that'd be dialed. So basically, what you do is you take like newspaper and you crumple it up and tape it or whatever, and you try to make your landscape, and you wet the plastic cloth and you lay it over it, and then it hardens. And then I could take whatever I wanted to, whether it be some sort of coating or we even have like a Line-X guy across the street I was thinking about talking to, and just sealing it up with that, and you'd have a natural terrain. That'd be all done for you. I think that'd be pretty awesome. I think that'd be really cool. Jackson Anderson, we haven't really got humidity wet drop strips this year on the track. Well, they don't happen in the summertime. They only happen in the winter. It all has to do with the dew point. So as soon as, say, October, like late October comes around, they'll be back. And that's why we have all those bins out there to catch it. People think our roof leaks, and it's not. It's not a roof leak. It's the fact that we water our track enough to where when it gets colder than it is inside, it's just like when you have a drink and you have this condensation. It's exactly what happens. So the inside of this is cold, the outside is warm, you get condensation. So in the summertime, you don't have that because typically it's warmer outside than it is inside. So if there was condensation, it would actually be on the outside of the building. Matt Lang used rock climbing grips. I could see that. You know, like Menards and stuff, you know, they've got those fake plastic rocks that you put over, like if you've got one of those like power inverter or whatever things outside. A lot of the suburban homes have them now. Instead of wires coming to our house, everything's underground, right? Well, they put those things over that. We tried to use those for this indoor comp we had once, but they were too slick. But I could see taking those and using that as a base and then covering them with, say, Quickcrete or something. I think that'd be pretty awesome. That'd be a good way to do it. Probably cheap too. I don't think they're very expensive. I always walk around Menards or Home Depot and try to find like ideas on what I can use on the next crawler course idea I have. And I've always thought about those, you know. That being said, we did move a bunch of rock this week on the outdoor course. On Tuesday, I had Trevor help me out, and we picked up this really heavy, big, giant rock that was against the building. So basically, one side of it couldn't be used, and we flipped it up on its end, and now it can be used. We'll see. We'll see what comes of it. Yeah, I got a thing of rope ready for a new bridge here at the house. But like I said, I took the bridge home with me, the log bridge, and set it up out there. It looks really good. So I don't think I need to make any more bridges, even though I'm tempted to. Yeah, I bet it was warm in there. The track looked. I watered it before I went home, and the track looked like it was in halfway decent shape. Um, I think we might need to patch up a few holes again. All it has to do is survive the weekend because we're changing it on Saturday, so or Sunday. So it just has to. It has to. It has to last 2 more race nights, and then we'll get in another change. Traction should come up really well too. So okay, well, I know we got a late start, and I apologize for that, but I think I'm ready for bed, and I swear next week I'll actually have something and be productive. So yeah, I feel kind of dumb, but it is what it is, and um, next week I'll actually have a project that I'm working on that I'll show you guys what I'm up to, and hopefully it'll be good content than just me talking. So so yeah, so I'm gonna bail. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Sorry for the late start again, but like I said, now I work every Thursday until close, and so it's getting harder and harder to get here on time for 9:30. So, but I'm doing my best to try to start at 9:30. We'll yeah, we'll catch you later. I'm gonna go, and thanks for tuning in. Again, we are on Patreon. You can look up HobbyPlex Show, and like I said, we're gonna find a way to get some exclusive content for that, so you're not just wasting your money. And like I said, I'm not making a big hairy deal out of it, but we do appreciate our Patreon members right now: Nick Nuthouse, Jason Haley, and Peter Renault. So keep it up, you guys. Yeah, we'll be back next week. HobbyPlex Show, Mondays at 6:30 with Will and I. We'll be talking about RC stuff then too. So thanks. See you guys.